Brent Ritzno here. Today, I wanted to share with you the uh, having to importance of having to watch out people who has no skin in the game. Basically, the people that whether you fail or not, or rather, even when you fail, it doesn't really have the material issue, which is like a problems. This pretty much goes to anybody who gives advice. And why I'm actually saying this is because if you go into the world, or even in school or wherever, right? It is just a human communication thing. So we can't really figure it out all on our own. So we seek other people's advice. But the advice, we really have to be careful, especially people who earns money by the advice. So specifically, like people who sell courses to make yourself rich, or maybe like advising for to be rich, or even if you go into the professional field, unless it's a specific matter, like a technical field or something, like a consultant to make your business bigger, or how to market things of the nature. If you know what you're doing, if you are the one seeking those individuals, like let's say if you are seeking for marketing people or sales people or something, that's completely fine. That's even necessary, because you know what you're doing, right? I mean, you're seeking the specific things to say, and then you know the cost. But then a lot of times, like this professional consultant, that's called. Including all these gurus and things. Like basically, they're professional consultants. That's how they make money of your doing things. What they're good at is, generally speaking, I would say 90%, or possibly like more, what they say is quite correct. But then this 10% of bullshit that then they say means it's like they're basically saying, okay, basically selling dreams, take chances, like all this like a good wording, but then they're selling their product, selling their service. That's their goal. You're paying their courses or their advice or consulting or whatever that is, and then they'll make you spend money, and then you feel like you're doing something, and actually you got to be careful. Is the scammers, the good scammers have products or services at least. That's why they don't get caught. They're not even they get caught. They say, okay, I have a product, I have a service. It's not like a brick. There is some kind of wisdom that I'm selling, or something along the line, right? So they have a plausible deniability. So I think what I can say is, it's difficult. I can see it's really difficult, especially when you are like trying to become successful, and it's quite a lonely road because nobody really understands you, right? because it's your product, your individual journey, especially also like your life journey too. Now a lot of people will tell you like what to do, but then and then you're kind of scared. Okay, is that right? Am I going to right? You don't know. Okay, you got to trust yourself. That's why I'm saying like it's fundamental that you trust yourself. But then if you don't have it, then you're kind of looking at other people, you're comparing with other people, and they're doing something right, whatever. I mean, once you get into that direction, then you're not going to the right mindset, and then you'll probably fuck it up. That's one thing. I think you can tell you might be getting scammed or being in the wrong type of scenario by looking at your mindset. You might get lucky that you might have this like a real good friends that are telling the truth or things of nature, but yeah. But generally speaking, you don't need. You can read pretty much what the consultants are saying are on the books, and you can learn it with probably $100 or $200 tops by particular books or audio books. Then that you can learn. A lot of times, like people need this kind of people just because you feel lonely. You don't want to do it by yourself because you're scared. That's not a good place to be. And if you cannot do it yourself, if somebody will bail you out, nobody's going to bail you out. So make sure that that's where that really a principle comes in, right? Like certain things you don't want to do, right? Like you don't want to take too stupid risks. Don't be too hopeful. I mean, hope is important, but then don't be like too optimistic in your plan. Start small. Test small things gradually. Okay, and then especially if something is new, something innovative, that's more so you do testing fast. That's a whole principle is about, right? So even though you might get like getting like a stupid advice from somebody, but then as long as you're doing the right principles, then you're gonna eventually get there with or without them. And then at the same time, if you fail, it's not going to be catastrophic. So another principle is that don't borrow too much money. Be conservative on your spending, and then have a expectation that somebody might making like a $1 million to listening to these people, right? Some will succeed. That's how the gamble works. But then just imagine that it won't be you, okay? As long as you're just kind of following the steps. There's always something that you can see that people do to make that type of exceptional result. So unless you have that, right? Unless you really have that, like something that nobody can do, which is not borrowing money, or which is not something that they follow somebody's direction well. That's not it. You have to have that depth of research or some sort of like an insight or skills that are so unique. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. By ever listening to anybody's ideas or some consultant's ideas, it's never going to happen. So don't waste any time, any money. I'm using it in a very broad sense, even in the school. Okay, I heard some story like if you're an artist, you pay like $30K, $40K to go to a fucking like art school. I mean, you can do a lot with $30K to do art, right? Or even music. I mean, just that sheer amount of insanity that's spending money is just crazy. But some people will succeed by going to school. But then those, if you spend that much money, make sure that it really worth it. Means is like you calculate, okay, how much budget, whatever, the schools, like resources that worth far exceeding $30K that you spend. Like let's say $1 million. Okay, if I go there, I spend $30K, but this school is offering me like $1 million worth of things. If you cannot see that, right? If you just go there and then say, hey, no, like I'm gonna get successful, whatever, it was never gonna happen. So just watch out. Okay, be really careful of people giving advice, and you pay for it. Just really watch out that the world doesn't work that way. Thank you for watching. Please share your ideas in the comment section below to help each other, and hit like and the subscribe buttons so you get notified of the next video. See you next time.